So, the unfiltered equestrian is going Western today. So I had a question from a girl who's learning to rope, and she's having some trouble with her swing. So I haven't roped in a number of years because of my shoulders, and now that they're healed up, I'd like to start again. So we're going to go through a little tutorial here of rope handling and a little basic exercise that I did when I was a kid and first learning how to rope. So first off, you want to make sure that your coils are nice and even and separated, and you have a tail, okay? And you don't want the tail too long, and you don't want it up like this either, okay? You want to have that so if you're sitting on your horse, it would be hanging off the outside leg like that. When you hold your coils, you want to hold them so that you can drop coils as needed. If you were roping and I threw this loop, that they would be able to uncoil out of my hand. You don't want to hold them like this, okay? Now with the loop, the distance from the Honda to your hand is called the spoke. So you don't want to have your spoke too short, or you can't, that's what happens to your loop, okay? I always start like that's my spoke. And my loop's smaller. Now we're gonna do an exercise that's a feeding exercise. So when you start first roping, you need to be able to swing and feed loop. So see how that loop got bigger? So that's feeding. And now I should be able to shorten it back up, okay? So we're gonna feed and shorten. If you can't do that with your rope, then there's something wrong with the Honda and you should be using a different rope, okay? This one's about worn out. You can see the rubber burns on there from dallying, but it's still functional because I can still feed it. Okay, so the next exercise is thinking about the shape of your swing. So if you were to bring your elbow back and point, and the back of your swing for a moment is like you could kiss the back of your hand. So it's point, pull, okay? So now we're gonna do that. We're gonna feed, just like that. Do it again, feed. See, in this one's point, pull, point, pull, point, pull, point, pull, point, pull, okay? So now if I'm gonna make a throw, I'm gonna point right at the center of that lid. I like practicing with a bucket, not horns, because a horn dummy, you need to do that eventually, but I personally get looking at a horn and I'll wave over the horns. So I always focus at the base of the horns, I don't look at the horns, and a bucket helps me to do that. So I rarely practice with a horned dummy. Point, pull, point, pull, and the other thing you could use, come up here and say, can I touch, 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 touch. Then you know you're controlling the tip of your loop. And when you throw and be pointing at the bucket. See, I didn't go pull my slack or anything. It lets me know, am I finishing like this? Am I finishing like this? And that loop laying the way that it did, it had a wrap to it. It would have come, the 8 would have come back over a calf's head or over the outside horn of a steer. So that's just a little tutorial, and I'll throw a couple more here. And I always finish pointing, and see my loop has the same shape to it again. Now I'm no expert roper, but I've been roping since I was 7 years old. So I am decent. Whoops, see, now there we go. I waved it. That's my thing. Another one. After I tore my shoulder, dislocated it, I could no longer get my elbow up. So that's what's happening right there. I'm just out of practice of keeping my elbow up. And when your elbow drops, and when you go to throw and your elbow comes first, you wave. And that's what I did wrong there. So slow it down, point, reach, point. Okay? So it all comes back to fundamentals. So there you go. Hope that helped. Have fun with a little roping practice.